But I think if it wasn't apparent after week one in their game against the Archers, because, Coach Tierney said after week one, look, we ran with it the way that we did at the face-off, and we still did just enough to be able to have a chance in the very end to try and tie or take the lead in this game, so I don't think it's really as big of an issue as people may want to make it. But I think after week 3, having seen it 2 more times this weekend and seeing just how much of a detriment it was to the Waterdogs this weekend. You saw Zach Tucci do what he did against them on Saturday. Also, shout out Zach Tucci. As Shaquille O'Neal once said, I was not familiar with your game, so shout out to him for that performance on Saturday. And then it got arguably worse in their game on Sunday against the Whipsnakes and Joe Nardella, as he had a perfect day against them at the Stripe. So really, like I said, if it wasn't apparent after that week 1 game against the Archers, they made it pretty apparent after the 2 games this weekend that there needs to be an adjustment made at the faceoff, and they need to find a way to be able to roster a true faceoff guy. Because look, we talked about it in a couple episodes ago prior to week 1 that the Waterdogs do have a very stacked midfield, and that's not just exclusive to offensive midfield, but it's defensive midfield as well. And we saw several of their defensive mids this weekend. Charlie Hayes was active on Sunday afternoon for their game on Sunday as well. So I get it. They have a super stacked midfield, but a lot of teams in this league have super stacked midfields, like the Atlas being one of them, and they still have Trevor Baptiste there, right? The Whipsnakes have Nardella, the Outlaws have Weirman, right? The list goes on, and yet the Waterdogs are sitting here saying we just can't find a way to realistically be able to do it and still maintain the balance, I guess you could say, at the midfield, when literally the other, 7 teams in the league have somehow found a way to be able to do it and be relatively successful at it.